Hi, friends. I'm Katie.
And I'm Lauren, and welcome to Okay, But Did You Know? A podcast where we talk about the TV and media that we love with a friend who's never seen it before.
Today, we're recapping and chatting about Bob's Burgers Season 4, Episode 3, Seaplane, and Episode 4, My Big Fat Greek Bob. We always start off with a synopsis, so here is Seaplane. Linda is getting bored with their go-to date night restaurant and asks for more adventure in their relationship. She asks Bob to attend flying lessons with her, and Bob refuses, so she goes alone. Mr. Fishoder stops by and informs the family that Linda is getting a flying lesson from upskirt Kurt, who likes to seduce the women he teaches. Kurt fakes an emergency landing on a makeout island and attempts to seduce Linda unsuccessfully. Bob and the kids make their way to the island to keep Linda from sleeping with Kurt. In the end, they make it to the island, and Mr. Fishoder uses his boat to pull the plane back to the mainland. The Belcher family packs into the plane for the ride back and end up having a real emergency landing, which was probably the most action I think we've seen on Bob's Burgers so far.
I think so.
But as always, we like to start off with the puns that we see in the opening credits. So, Lauren, what did you get for the vacant storefront?
Don't go there. Cautionary sign store.
Which feels so fitting after the last story you just told me in our last
Yeah.
episode.
Mm-hmm. We don't bring people back from the dead and don't put hot shots down your pants.
Oh my god. What did you get for the pest control truck?
Cockroach block. Cockroach blockers pest control. And then I put next to it, ew.
Yeah, that's. But that's based off the phrase cock blocker. So,
Mm-hmm.
this is an explicit episode.
Yes, it is.
And you did, yes, you were just complaining to me about
Mm-hmm.
the lack of burgers of the day, but we do have one.
There's one burger. Like, I get it. Not every episode is going to take place on multiple days, but, like, I miss the episodes where there's, like, 8 burgers for no apparent reason.
We'll have days that we get a lot more, I think.
Okay. It's fun for me. It's a game. So I got Sprouted All Out burger.
For the shout it all out. So you were finally meeting Gus. Gus is one of our reoccurring characters that just kind of comes in every now and again. He's our social and friendly old timer that just always seems to be there. And he's voiced by H. John Benjamin.
Okay. I can see that.
I love Gus. Gus is sweet. You get to see him in other episodes. He's everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Kind of like how we have Marshmallow randomly.
Yeah.
Gus is the old man that also shows up randomly.
Okay.
And then Kurt was played by Will Forte.
Yes, I did have to look, because I for the life of me can never remember his name. I'm like, I had to look his name up based off of MacGruber again.
Oh, you did?
That's the only. I'm like, I know that's MacGruber. What is his name? Because I always know it's Will. I always want to say it's Will Arnett, but I know that that's somebody else.
No, Will Arnett's Batman.
I know. I'm aware Will Arnett is Batman. Will Arnett is a very different person, but that's the name that comes out of my brain. So I had to look up
I think
MacGruber
it's
again.
just that makes sense. This is his first appearance as Upskirt Kurt.
Okay.
And his plane Shoshana. He does come back eventually.
Okay.
A little bit less of the being the weird guy that's seducing housewives.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't do that so much after this. I think Linda taught him his lesson.
That's good.
But he does come back eventually.
Upskirt Kurt was not a bad nickname.
It's a good nickname, but not a good action.
No.
The title is, of course, an allusion to the 1980 comedy film Airplane.
I love that movie. That's one of my
Which
favorite
was funny
movies.
because, well, when you originally asked me about this, you were like, does this have something to do with snakes on a plane? I was like, no.
No, I said Airplane.
I thought you said snakes on a plane.
No, I said Airplane.
Well, the movie, okay, the episode isn't,
Mm-hmm.
but the name is.
Well, that's because
title is.
With the exclamation point. No, I said Airplane, and so I'm like,
I thought you said snakes on a plane.
No.
Either way.
Someone listen to that episode. Someone go back next week and then tell us where we correct. I'm
Yeah,
fairly certain I said
can't
Airplane.
remember.
I am fairly certain I said Airplane because I don't think I've
In
ever
my
seen...
defense, I have the brain of a goldfish.
I don't think I've ever seen Snakes on a Plane. And in my defense, I've seen Airplane far too many times because that's the movie that
You've never seen Snakes on a Plane?
I don't think so. But I've seen Airplane tens of times because my dad thought it would be funny to show that to his 10-year-old.
He showed you that at 10?
I was young. Maybe not 10, but I was young.
Look, I can't say anything. I watched What I watched at like 8.
It's an amazing movie, and I'm fairly certain most of the innuendos did go over my head, and he may have covered my eyes at one point. I have no idea.
That's fair.
Now I just watch. Now it's just it's Shirley. You can't be serious. Yes, I'm serious, and don't call me Shirley. It's such a good movie.
So Shoshana, the plane, the Sweetnam Eagle is a plane that does not exist in reality.
This doesn't surprise me.
It's not a real plane.
It's a pontoon.
This is coming from the Wiki. You're probably going to correct me, and I have no idea. I didn't know this was a thing. But it says that right after landing on the Quippaquisset Island, when Linda has the cheese patter, she says, as she asked for mutz, a New Jersey slang word meaning mozzarella.
I mean, it is. That's that's like a New York, New Jersey, Italian American slang. They like if you hear like like mutz or gabagool, like people really do say that.
Really,
and people really do say that.
I did not know that.
That's because that's very much like an American Italian, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania situation. People do use that.
But I did get really excited because within this little tidbit, I cannot recall not once in the 20-something episodes that we have recorded about Bob's Burgers the name of where they live.
No.
It says this is consistent with the fact that Seymour's Bay, the town the Belchers live in, is located in New Jersey.
We've never once heard
that. And never once has it been in the Wiki. And I'm like, so that's where they live. I've been watching this show since like 2015. I've never known that they lived in Seymour's Bay. And now I know.
I'm looking something up right now. Hang on.
It's the Yahoogle moment.
I
need a Yahoogle button.
Hello.
I need to have the Jeopardy music going.
Apparently, Seymour's Bay is first used in the season 9 premiere.
Really? Of Bob's?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Because I was going to the Seymour's Bay page on the Bob's Burgers Wiki. Because usually if something is hyperlinked, it usually has locations like that has its own
See, I don't tend to look into that.
Sometimes, yeah, I go like 5 nests deep if I have to. But yeah, according to the Bob's Burgers Wiki, Seymour's Bay is the name of the town. Much like Ocean Avenue, it was first mentioned by name in just one of the boys for now. And again in Nightmare on Ocean Avenue Street,
which is probably from a news announcer, if I remember that episode correctly.
Probably. So that's the first time that the name of the town is mentioned. So I don't feel bad. I haven't heard it. You should though.
Do you know how much Bob's Burgers I watch? They all kind of blend together.
I forget so much about my own show, so I'm not one to talk.
Well, I watch it so much that I'll go back on Hulu and watch the episodes for the show, and then I just let it play from there half the time, which is so funny because I'll record with you, and then when I'm going to bed, I'll watch an episode or two when I'm trying to fall asleep, and I'll have it on, and then I've just recorded with you and laughed with you and talked about this episode. I'll watch the next one immediately, and I'm just like, oh. And I'm always like, Lauren's gonna love that. Lauren's gonna hate that. It's hilarious. I get my own little pre-show.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to somebody about we were gonna record soon, and I'm like, yeah, Katie's gonna probably yell at me.
That's what we do.
It's usually what ends up happening.
Well, I mean, look, they got Frankenstein half right, so I can't be mad. But
again, you just wait and see until episode 12 and see if you still think that.
Oh, I'm not going to. I'm probably going to have to scream in the name of Mary Shelley. So,
most likely.
So I have a lot of random lines in my own notes, but a lot of the times ours match up, and so I'm really excited to see what you actually thought of Seaplane, and more than anything, Linda.
I mean, Linda is a devoted wife. There was a lot of wine. There's a lot of wine bottles that she could spell out help. I was like, did she drink this much wine, or did she find the stash of wine bottles? That
she found the stash of wine bottles. That's how long he's been doing this. So each wine bottle is probably per woman.
That makes a lot more sense. But so there was that. I did when Fish Odor first walked into the into Bob's Burgers. I wrote down the line, and you should work in my coal mine. Sorry about your marriage.
But then, like, right after
But
that, I wrote down, nothing like seeing a good doc, Dad.
yep,
This show,
like
man.
this episode was just full of so many
So
like
many.
non sequiturs, and it was like this is a very specific ruse to seduce, but okay.
Well, like, I did love, too, because now that we know that Bob and Gus are talking, I had my Seth MacFarlane moment of, like, just H. John
Uh-huh.
Benjamin talking to himself, because the amount of
Yep.
scenes in
Mm-hmm.
Family Guy that you'll watch, and it's literally just Seth
Mm-hmm.
MacFarlane talking to himself with 4 different characters. So,
Yep.
I loved that moment with H. John Benjamin, too. I was like, "Yay, another one." But, like, with that, too, though, with, like, the plane crashing, her line of, "All this dying really makes me hungry."
Well, she did throw up.
She did throw her and Bob, because remember when Bob throws up, she's like, "Yeah, I
Yeah.
did that too."
Yeah, it's okay, honey. When they were at the dock though, and like they were looking for a boat for hire, and like of course Fishotter has a boat.
Of course.
He's Rumpelstiltskin. Of course
He
he's
has a
got a
coal
boat.
mine.
He has a coal mine. He's like, what do you think this is? Key West? Everyone's got a boat. And I went, sir, you own the town. You should know how much people can afford.
You literally own everybody.
Exactly. He owned the town.
He owns Seymour's Bay.
He owned Seymour's Bay, apparently. Uh, let's see. It's like, oh wow, I did not see them I didn't see them actually getting stranded coming. I don't know why. Like
Mhm.
the boat, like the seaplane just floating away. I don't think the tide could necessarily come in high enough in the short time they were there for that to be the case, unless he really didn't pull it up far enough, which is
Yeah, it
possible.
has to be that he didn't pull it up enough.
Yeah.
Like, but him grabbing the loot and Linda being like, "What the hell is that? What are you doing?" Like, her being completely
Like,
uninterested.
I was gonna punch you, but I'm holding my wine. Relatable.
I wrote that down too.
Very relatable. We see it.
And then I wrote, "Haha,
Uh,
throat punch," because she just
yes. Just-
like, that man did not see that coming. But then you see the amount of bottles, and you're like, "No, he's used to completely doing this and getting away with it." And Linda's like, "Not
oh, absolutely.
today. Not
Not
today."
today. No, I did love. I think it was Jean's line of maybe he supplies the skirts. It was either him or
Yeah,
Tina. I think that
I
said
think
that.
that was Jean.
Yeah, I was like I understand. I appreciate the specificity of it's upskirt Kurt. There must be skirts involved. It's a metaphor, children. It's fine.
Oh, but oh god, the children. Oh, I know you've probably made a joke about this in your own notes, but I'm just like, reading other people's mail is very illegal.
Dude, you should not open other people's mail.
Like, it is extreme. That is literally is a federal offense. Short story, but like the amount of times my husband has had to tell like UPS and FedEx to stop putting packages in the mailbox. He was like, "Y'all
Mm-hmm.
can't touch those. I can touch those. The owner of the house can touch those. You can't touch those. You actually are not legally
Mm-hmm.
allowed to go in someone else's mailbox.
Did not know
That
that.
is actually against the law."
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, like our UPS people, they our UPS people, they put packages in weird places. I can't say they've ever tried putting anything in the mailbox. Anything
Mhm.
that comes in the mailbox is always coming via USPS. But I had a box come one time because we have like a retaining wall kind of like along the side of the
Yeah.
house where you have like mulch and everything else. It's they put it on the retaining wall next to the garage and marked it as at front door. It was absolutely nowhere near our door. Like
All
I saw
right.
it because it was a bright blue box. But my favorite, because it feels like there were two times where it feels like they went to extra lengths to make it hard to get to. Because next to our porch, like the way our house is,
Mhm.
like the porch, like next to it, there's mulch, and then that's the side of the house, and like there's like a window from the basement you can still see out. So we had some long pack. I don't know what it was that was being delivered. Maybe it was like I think it might have been like a towel bar or something like that from when we were getting our bathroom redone. They went up to the porch, stepped off the porch, put like the long thing basically in the mulch and leaned it against the house. And I'm like, you could have just laid it down on, if the concern was it not falling over because you don't know what's in it,
Mhm.
lay it down on the porch.
Yeah.
Don't like walk through our mulch to put it against the house. But my favorite because truthfully, if I hadn't seen it, it would have been driven over, because we have had stuff get driven over because people put stuff in front of our garage, and I understand not everyone uses their
No, yeah,
garage.
down here no
We
one
do.
uses their garage.
We do, and some people, but like some people do, but we do. But it's putting stuff in front of the garage and not marking it as by a garage, because that is an option. Because we've had stuff driven over. I start
Mhm.
texting my mom. I'm like, hey, I don't know where they put this, especially when it snows and sometimes people get lazy. I don't know where they put this. Please don't drive over it. I cannot replace it.
Makes me think of
But there was,
the videos of you when people have the door cameras of USPS,
mhm,
UPS, FedEx, who does it best.
yeah. But I had a box come, and so we used to have our garbage cans against the house. Now we have them on the other side of the driveway, but it was against the house, and then my car was kind of perpendicular, but there
Mhm.
was space there. The package was behind the garbage cans. Like, the guy would have had to take this giant, it was a big box too, had to walk between my car and the garbage cans to put it down. I'm like, what is with this extra effort?
Which is so which is
Why?
so funny because like we have a carport, like a big
So
carport,
sometimes I just wonder.
for both our cars, and then we have our front porch, of course, on the front of the house. USPS, but they know me. Like I know my mail carrier very well. It's not my husband. We actually have a different mail carrier. My husband's not on our route.
Yeah.
Um, he always brings everything to the door, like straight to me. If we're not here, he'll put it on the steps to my side
Mm-hmm.
door under the carport, where if there's any rain,
Mm-hmm.
nothing happens. Everyone else puts it on my front porch, but they don't put it like over to the side. So if I open my door, like I don't push it because we have a screen door. I'm Southern. Like we
Mm-hmm.
have got to have those here.
Yeah.
You have to. We got to watch the rain.
Yeah.
Um, it's a very Southern thing. I'm sorry. We get tropical storms constantly, and you just kind of
Fine.
watch the trees go sideways. Um, no, they like to put it
Yeah.
directly in front of where you open the door. So it gets rained on if it's there, but also it would be raining, and then you have to open the door to get the box, and then you're pushing it into the rain. So I like it when
Yep.
things do not come from other people that are
Logic.
not USPS. My favorite line, I think, I have two favorite lines
Mm-hmm.
that I wrote down. So the last thing I wrote down, one was, "You look macarooned,"
I wrote that one down too.
and the last one was, "Yay, I got in the Mile High Club early admission." I was like, "Gene, no,
Oh, honey, no. I had one more, which was, shove it.
no." So this episode, I think, in my opinion, is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But what did you rate it?
This might surprise you based off of what I said before.
I was gonna say you seem to like it.
This is a 29. It has a 10 for plot, a 10 for personal, and a 9 for character, just because Kurt's kind of an asshole.
I am so happy.
I wrote down it would have been a 30 if Kurt was slightly less of an asshole, but I don't honestly know
Which
if the
is
chaos would have been as much fun. So,
which is funny because he turns into less of an asshole as it goes on.
okay.
So maybe the next time you see him, you'll be like, "Lear, character growth."
Yes, character development, we like.
So I gave plot and character 8s because Kurt really like. Yeah. I say that, and I'm like, I gave these 8s, and then I gave
Mhm.
personal 9. So this is actually 25 for me. Like it's a good
Okay.
one. I
Yeah.
love this episode, but it's not turkey in a can. So which
Fair.
will make more sense when you watch.
Okay.
Okay, and let me go back to my synopsis. Oh goodness, this one is Season 4, Episode 4, My Big Fat Greek Bob. Bob is filling in for Pepe, cooking for a local fraternity. Linda is hosting a Lady Goods party with Gretchen, and she doesn't know what Lady Goods means. Your reaction as I'm reading this, like Lauren is already breaking down. The party begins, and Linda quickly kicks the kids out since Gretchen is selling sex toys. Bob is enjoying his time with the fraternity, but then discovers one of the alumni is Dr. Yap. Linda is roped into helping Gretchen sell her lady goods with lies. Yap finds out Bob helped with a prank he planned, and the next day, I think it was the next day, Bob finds Yap bruised and bald, and the fraternity mascot, Beta, has disappeared. Pictures of Beta in different situations start to show up, only for Bob to do all he can to inform the frat brothers Yap is behind it all.
The laughing is mostly because, like, it's like sometimes the episodes are so chaotic that it's the dichotomy of our two shows, because we record a week's worth of episodes out in one go. If you didn't know that,
Yeah.
we record any once like we record the once episode that comes before the Bob's episodes, like we record them in one go. So
We
it's
have a
like
routine.
we have a routine. It makes life easier on us. So like it's the dichotomy of like learning to let go and like move on from your trauma and other things, and Lady Goods and and fraternity pranks. It's the dichotomy of like, this is like 40 minutes apart for us.
Yeah. It's really is funny because like, well, when you think about it, sometimes some of these Once Upon a Time episodes can get really emotional and they're like a
Yeah.
lot to really discuss and you're picking things apart. And then you go to my favorite show where I'm like chaos and inappropriateness and just crazy. It's crazy.
To be fair, though, what's really funny is that even though anyone listening is hearing this in May,
Mhm.
the name of the vacant storefront fits in with the episode that was released today.
Wait, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, because we have Wolf in cheap clothing, discount pet apparel,
For a wolf in sheep's
and
clothing, it does. Oh my
yes,
god.
and the episode that was released today, the day that we're recording this, is the first Little Red Riding Hood episode.
Damn, that's awesome.
It's very good timing.
We've had some interesting timing. Like remember
Yeah,
even with like your first ever holiday episodes were actually
yeah.
around those holidays. So that was a lot of fun
hmm
too. But what did you get for the pest control truck?
That was a mouse divided pest control.
That's for a house divided.
hmm
Which the wiki was like, it could be this, or it's also this, or it's also this reference. And I'm like, that is one of the oldest sayings like ever. We all
Yep.
know it.
hmm
And you only have one burger a day.
It's a good burger of the day, though. I mean, I don't know how good it would taste, but it's a good reference,
It's a very
and
good
that
reference.
and that is A League of Their Own.
And that is for the 1992 A League of Their Own, which I if you haven't read it yet, there is a nonfiction book I read last year
hmm
about the like actual creation of that movie.
hmm
Because I didn't know that. Remember Laverne and Shirley?
Yes.
Laverne from Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah.
She directed that.
Yeah, that's Penny Marshall.
Thank you. I'm bad at names. But the nonfiction book about all of that was absolutely
hmm
amazing. Could not put it down.
I have not read that. I have read Gina Davis's memoir, and she does talk about
Oh, she
making A League of
did?
Their Own. Yes.
Which, oh man, it was so good. And then like finding out so much of the behind the scenes and them actually wanting it to be more queer
hmm
and
She
her
was
being like
not really.
she was
She was
not
not in
for
for
it.
it.
Which
Like, I think at one point, she like, I think Rose O'Donnell talks about how she yelled like "make it less gay" or something like
she
that.
did. There was like a scene she's chain smoking and Rosie O'Donnell did something and she got yelled at and she was like less gay. You have to make it less gay. And I'm like
I mean, you you can't really make less gay the woman that like after she throws the ball at Gina Davis and she's just like, "Hey, excuse me, you caught that? Hello?" Like, there's really nothing. There's
you
nowhere to go from.
can't.
There's nowhere to go from but down from there.
And plenty of the actresses though were it wasn't just like Rosie O'Donnell. Plenty of them were
No,
like, but wouldn't this be really gay?
well, one other one of them was in the L Word.
Yeah, yeah, she was.
She played the
Oh,
character she played on the L Word was Robin, but I don't not remember her
yes.
name.
I don't remember her name
You've never
either.
seen the L Word.
I knew that she played in it though because like
Okay,
look, there are
what is her
actresses
name?
out there that like to play a lot. They play very gay characters.
This is
Because
true. Hang on,
in the new
I'll find her name.
show A League of Their Own, one of those characters was also gay and something else. I can't remember. Broad City. Was she in Broad City? Is that who I'm thinking?
The main character?
Was that I can't remember names and I never
Well, she's
finished
gay
it.
in real life.
I know that, but she
Well,
plays
she's
other
queer in real
gay
life.
characters.
She's queer in real life. Let's say that. I don't know her exact identity. She's queer in real life.
That's fair.
Um, hang on, A League of Their Own.
I have the
Cause it's like, listen,
memory
I
of
know
a
her.
goldfish. I actually never finished the show A League of Their Own. Um, because one of the scenes just traumatized me so much and I was like, I'm scared. I don't want to go if I want to go on. So
Nah, that's fair.
I never finished. I need to. I can now, technically, thanks
Yeah.
to you.
Yes. Anne Ramsey,
Thank you.
is the actor that from League of Their Own that was also on the L Word who was dating Jenny at the beginning. We're like, please make better choices.
Apparently, I just need to go watch the L Word, but I'm like, how much am I not gonna know about this show?
But at this point, you should just wait until that can be our next show to watch, and
That's
have
where I'm at with
aged.
it.
It will have aged even worse by the time we get to it.
I know, that's why I'm kind of like, all right, as soon as we're done with either one of these, that's the next one.
That's the next one.
So Ken Jeong is back as Dr. Yap.
Yes, now that I know it's him, I hear it.
Now you hear it now?
Yeah.
Okay, so Dean Dixon, voiced by Jonathan Katz, in
Okay.
something called Dr. Katz Professional Therapist. He voices Dr. Katz, whose son Ben was voiced by H. John Benjamin. So they've worked
Huh.
together before.
Yeah.
And of course, it's very obviously what this title is a parody of the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding, which I think we've all
Amazing movie
amazing movie.
that I've seen a million times.
Not surprised.
I that's one like I feel like every family has like movies that like a bunch like some people can quote whatever. Like my family has a
Oh.
couple of movies. Like there's movies that like I quote at my mom, like my mom and I quote back and forth. There's movies that my dad and I quote back and forth. My Big Fat Greek Wedding is one of those rarity that me, my mom, my dad, and my brother have all seen so many times that's a movie for all four of us.
Guess what movie my mom made us watch a lot?
I have no idea.
Mystic Pizza.
Interesting choice.
She really loved what's her face?
Oh, what is her name?
Why did Julie Andrews come to mind? No, not her.
No,
That's
no,
the wrong
not
one.
Julie Andrews. No, Julie. Oh my god.
What is
Julia
her name?
Roberts.
Julia Roberts.
Julia
Thank you.
Roberts.
You see where my brain was going.
We both had that brain fart.
We both had it. So you love me. So Bob comments on the poor hygiene of the frat boys, and
Naturally.
the reason they have ants is because of their poor hygiene, and that the ant infestations are a pet peeve of Sterling Archer,
Okay.
which of course is voiced by H. John Benjamin, and
Yes.
the wiki now puts and possibly the alter ego of Bob Belcher because of the crossover that they did with Archer.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to regret this. So Bob's karaoke song is You Ought to Know by Alanis Morissette. Top tier choice. What is your karaoke song?
Okay.
Oh.
So here's the thing. Believe it or not, I get nervous singing in public.
I do too.
Believe it or not, for how much I don't shut up on the internet. And it's actually funny. This is phenomenal timing because it's like I'm also the person that like when I do this with if whenever I do go to karaoke with people that like I don't know that well, I am a little more reserved in my choices because I like to read the room if I can.
Mm-hmm.
But like this also there's another panel that from Once Upon a Time the actors they got asked this question. You have like the two of them giving like really funny answers. The one like that goes last. She's like, oh well, like I'm like the idiot here, like trying to come up with like what is like a song that I really like to do, and you two all have funny answers. That's I'm still that kind of person. But I did karaoke for the first time in probably about 5 years, just 2 weeks ago.
I remember.
Because like I sing on lives online, but like it's just me in my office. It's not like even though there are people watching, I can't comprehend that there are people watching. I think the one that I did the most successfully was "Where You Lead" by Carole King.
Ooh, good one.
I think that one, at least for where my voice was that day, it's a good one. And like the karaoke bar that we went to that we are going to again because it's our friend's birthday at the end of the month. That's what he wants to do. It's mostly kind of like a locals bar. It's a lot of people over the age of 50. So like my knowledge of music that is predominantly 40 plus years old really works for me.
I'm happy for you.
So, but I definitely overthink, but because if it's with my friends, quite frankly, if it's with my friends, I'll go Disney. I don't care. They can yell at me all they want.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't care less.
We need more Disney's karaoke, man. Like
we really do. So like maybe I'll pick a Disney song next time when we go at the end of the month. We shall see. But yeah, I think Carole King is a good go-to for me.
No.
Just kind of in general. I think her voice her songs work well for my range. But
I
again,
like it.
so like you're not getting a simple answer out of me.
No, I can't get a simple answer out of you.
I spent almost my entire life today singing half of the Hazbin Hotel soundtrack.
I can't wait. I'm rewatching it soon.
Mm-hmm.
Just gonna set it up on my iPad and clean.
So, what is your go-to karaoke song?
Ooh, I don't do karaoke.
Okay. Well, what would your go-to karaoke song be? If I'm answering this, you have to also.
Scrubs, TLC. Because you just repeat the same thing over and over again. I can't forget the words.
That's true.
I mean, already in my head, I've got it repeating in my head. Like, you cannot forget the lines to Scrubs by TLC. So, and that's probably showing a little bit of my age. Because anything recent, no.
I sang literally the 4 songs that I sang at karaoke. Well, one of them was Emily and I sang "What You Own" from Rent, but
I love it.
It's a good song. I sang Carole King, I sang Cher, and I sang "It's Time" by Imagine Dragons.
Okay, those are good choices.
Like,
okay, so I know how much you love how the show has like a floating timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Bob's bank card that Louise used to try to gain entry into the Chamber of Secrets. I can't believe
Yes.
not a reference I like, but it's okay. It now has the expiration date 12/14, December 2014, but rather than the December 2013 date shown in My Fuzzy Valentine. And the card is still the same exact 16-digit number as it appears to be the exact same. So they just changed
So
it.
yeah, so rather than like saying like, oh, he got a new card, so it's gonna expire in 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
it's the same card that just now it's 1 year later. I like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I prefer when things when like they do that. It's like the Simpsons effect is kind of like it's like a Groundhog Year effect. Everything kind of
Mm-hmm.
resets, but it's same
But it's the
distance
same.
away.
A box of trans noodles, because all the different restaurants when they had the Moody Foodie trans noodles can be
Mm-hmm.
seen on the beta's house coffee table when Bob first comes into the house.
Nice.
So more continuity of like the restaurants in the area.
Mm-hmm.
And this is probably my favorite one because I think that's my favorite part of this episode is just that you have so many things from other episodes that are like, oh, this is that, this is this, like you've
Mm-hmm.
seen it before. Most of the lady goods, sex toys in this episode have appeared before in God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. I never thought I'd have to say this a lot. God Rest Ye Merry Gentle Mannequins on sale at Spanx a lot. And these are the ones that the kids used to distract Sal when Bob was stealing Nadine.
Gotcha. Okay, I like
Never
that.
thought I'd have to say that damn title again, but here we are. So what'd you think?
This was an episode. It was a thing that exists.
It's never good if you start that way.
No, it's never good with this. This is certainly something that exists. I did like We Haze with Hugs. That sounds like a good time to me, and not a way to get kicked out of your school. However, I did see obviously Yap being behind this. I saw that coming.
Oh, it was very obvious.
Immediately. That was not. I was like, oh my god, how could this possibly be the thing? Because he's just around and he's annoying and no.
He misses his college days for sure.
He does. I seriously, I miss my college town. Like I miss being there with all of my friends, but like I don't want to go back there, nor do I want to hang out with college students at my age.
Mm-mm.
Like I'm done.
I didn't want to hang out with college students when I was a college student, so
Yeah, like I'm good. I'm good. But I shotgunning from a taxidermy lizard.
Well, which end would you drink from, the mouth or the butt?
Neither. I drink out of that hole. I drink out of the hole where the beer went in. That's what I would do. Because like either way, no.
Like, do lizards have nipples? Is that what we're gonna call that?
I don't. It's the belly button, maybe.
The belly button.
Know.
Let's go with the belly button.
It's a body shot at that point.
It's a body shot. Oh god, I think you broke me.
Yeah. So that's where I'm going with that.
I think I'm enjoying the conversation of the episode more than I enjoy the episode.
No, absolutely that's what's happening here. But this is not a case where the conversation is going to up my score.
No,
score stays.
It stays.
Absolutely. I did say a breast organizer sounds like a more complicated version of a bra, but I'm behind it as a lady.
Oh, I just wrote breast organizers in all caps because I thought it was funny.
Yeah. It's a good time. But this episode really did make me very secure in my choice to go to a singular frat party and then never return.
I married a frat guy. And then divorced them.
That is a choice that you made with your life.
I did. So we're divorced now. We're good.
Okay.
And then I married a guy that's like 8 years older than me. So
there you go. But yeah, I went to one singular frat party. To be fair, my school didn't have a big Greek life to begin with.
Mine didn't either.
Like there was like a few like big ones that had their own house, but like for the most part, like yeah, like the big things was the acapella parties where it's stupidly enough. Like as like cliche as that is, those were
okay. We didn't have that.
Those were bigger parties. I still didn't even go to those. But it's just like my school is very artsy. But I'm very happy that I never went back to any frat parties. But I'm also fairly certain alum can't just live at the frat houses. Pretty certain you can't.
They can't.
You can't do that.
You can visit. Yeah. You cannot stay.
There's no way that's allowed.
But if you've reached the age of Dr. Yap and you're still visiting your school's fraternity, not just going to like alumni events, but like actively
going and hanging out
with 18-year-olds, I'm worried for you.
It's like once there's no one there who was there the same time as you, that's when the time comes to stop. Like if there are still like people who were freshmen when you were a senior, I know people aren't in frets as freshmen usually, but either way.
No, that's usually when they're
Yeah.
rushing.
So like, although their slogan was, "If you rushed us, you'd be like, if you rushed us, you'd be a pledge by now."
Yeah.
But it's I understand that if like there's someone who was like in like the youngest class when you were a senior, sure. But once they're gone, like that's time to let it go. That's our theme for the evening. Is time to
That
let it
is.
go.
What'd you think about that vibrator with a solar panel?
That doesn't seem like a very good idea considering you have to leave it on your porch.
Well, like, does the solar panel come off? Because then it only goes like this far. Because like
Yeah, it's
half of the thing was taken up by a solar panel.
well, there's that too, but also, it's not always about the length. It's about how you use it.
I mean, that's fair, but I'd feel really awkward if it's hitting my bits with a solar panel.
It's true, but there's also you can always do like the outer situation. Doesn't have to go inside.
True. That's true.
It's a vibrator, so it's multifaceted.
Good thing I always list these explicit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Cougar Doodle.
Yeah, that was a name. Everything to do with like the lady goods, all of the pleasureologist situation. I'm like, this is an awful name for an awful situation. Yes, apparently we're doing MLM sex toys.
I mean, that does exist.
I know it exists, and it's always more expensive than it needs to be.
It really is.
It's just like, well, because like you're paying for the product, but like then they're making commission, and then it's MLMs are bad. If we haven't talked about them enough on this podcast, I don't know if we have at all. Multi-level marketing is bad.
Not good. Not good.
It is bad. Don't do it.
I've watched plenty of documentaries and been around it enough to know. Don't do it.
Do not do
I
it.
find it fascinating, though. It's got like a cult following.
Oh, yeah. I've been to my fair share of, like, was it 23 or whatever that bag company was? I've been to those parties. My friends' in-laws have been, like, selling Beachbody for years. I just watched from a distance.
Oh, I hate Beachbody. So when I was in college, funnily enough, there was some of the frat boys that got involved with one of those MLMs, and it was like a drink or something. We practically were kidnapped. They're like, "Hey, can we come pick you up to take you to this? Like, just come hang out with us." We're like, "Yeah, sure." Like, thinking we were just gonna go and hang out. We get there, they sit us down, and then like a whole sales pitch of trying to like join their team, and I'm sitting there like, "Where's the beer? I don't want this energy drink or whatever this drink is. Give me a beer. Let's hang out. What is this?" And thing is, they picked us up and brought us over. So I was like, "Can I go home now? You stole me." Like, they literally, like, it's like a cult. Yeah. It's crazy.
No, my friend.
And no, we did not join their team.
No, you shouldn't. My friend whose in-law does, or did, I don't know if she still is, but when she did Beachbody, she was never the very pushy kind of person with it. She really was just like, I mean, she friended everybody on Facebook. I don't know. I was friends with her on Facebook. I still am. And she was very much just like, she would post the stuff, and if you were interested to reach out to her, she was okay with that. I guess she had enough of a downline. She didn't really have to like try and sell people on things. But like, her and like the another in-law, she signed the other one on as her downline, but basically just so that she, like, the other person could get the products for cheap, basically. Like, she was always like a very low-key kind of MLM person, so I'll give her that. But yeah, MLMs are not good. Not good. No.
And I just wrote that Yap is just the worst.
Absolutely, like, he is.
Love Ken Jeong, always will. I think he is a phenomenal actor. And he is actually a doctor, which I still love to knowing that to this day. But man, he knows how to play an annoying character. He is so good at it.
He's very good at it. Again, like, that's what we say like about like Rumpelstiltskin. Like, he's like, Robert Carlyle is very good in his acting. He can make a character so maniacal that's like, just shut up for 5 seconds. He's very good. It's a good portrayal, but same with Yap. It's a great portrayal, which is why we hate him.
Yes. So what did you rate this one?
So this one, it was gonna be 7s across the board. It's a 7 for plot, 7 for character. I gave it an 8 for personal.
Oh. I
think mostly because Yap did get his comeuppance. And also, I did find the cougars and the horny frat boys kind of like an entertaining way to end the episode.
That was funny because it's like still that model of they're kind of separate, having 2 separate stories, but then they always converge at the end.
Yeah. So this one got a 22.
I like that. I did do 7s across the board, so this is a 21 for me.
Okay.
Yap was just too much. Like,
It's a lot of
On the
yap.
scale of not liking characters, it really is like Frond and Dr. Yap are tied
Hmm.
almost. But the
Yeah,
problem
that's fair.
is there was too much Yap.
Yeah.
If they had done just a little bit less of him, I think I could have done it. But yeah, it's a 21 for me as well. The spit tank took me out too. Like I literally was just
It
kind of sitting here like, okay, I can do without all that spit. No, thank you.
it was a lot of spit, and it is actually insane to collect that much spit, no matter what he says.
But like, I get you're a dentist, but how many people is in that?
He said every patient for the last 6 months.
Do you know how many patients a dentist sees in just one day?
A lot.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I would imagine it's a lot, considering he's probably one of the few ones that's in everyone's network provider. Thank you all for listening. Join us next time when we discuss Once Upon a Time, episode 206, Tallahassee. Don't forget to like, rate, and follow the podcast wherever you listen so you can be notified every time we publish a new episode. And follow us at OBDYK_pod on Instagram and TikTok.
This has been an episode of Okay, But Did You Know? A TV and media podcast. It was hosted by Katie and Lauren and edited by Katie.